All right, so in this video, I want to do a sketch of this cosine function over here with these transformations, and I want to do it between 0 and 2 pi. So the first thing is I'll note all the transformations down. So my amplitude is 5. My k value does not exist here, which basically means k is 1, which means my period is just 2 pi divided by k, which is 1. So my period is just my regular 2 pi. I have a phase shift of pi over 4 units to the left. And my equation of axis is y equals -2. So now that I have this down, I always start my sketch with my y-axis. And then I put the equation of axis as a dotted line in the middle. So in this case, the equation of axis is just -2. Then I find my maximum and my minimum. So my amplitude is 5, so -2 plus 5 is +3, so my maximum is at +3, and -2 minus 5 is -7, so my minimum is at -7. Next, I draw the x-axis, and the x-axis is approximately between 3 and -2, somewhat over here, slightly closer to -2. Now I can start with my key points of my function. So a positive coarse graph normally starts at the maximum right over here, but we know it's phase shifted pi over 4 to the left. So instead of starting over here, the maximum is going to be over here, which is basically pi over 4 units to the left of the y-axis. I'll just extend this out a bit. Now remember, we're drawing our graph between 0 and 2 pi, so I'm not actually going to draw that part out. I'm just using this point here for the rest of the graph. This is at -pi over 4. Now I know for a cosine wave to go from one maximum to the next maximum, that's one entire period. And I know that my period is 2 pi. So I'm going to do -pi over 4 plus 2 pi in my calculator. And that's going to give me the x value of the next maximum, which is basically 7 pi over 4. Now I know that the midpoint of the two maximums is going to be the minimum. So if I do the midpoint of these two, I'll just add them in my calculator and divide by 2. And I'll get the midpoint over here to be 3 pi over 4. And now I know the midpoint of these two, and then these two are just my axis point. This is slightly uneven, but that's fine. Not too big of a deal because it's a sketch, not an actual graph. So midpoint here, and then the midpoint here are the two axis points. So I'll find the midpoint of these two. -pi over 4 plus 3 pi over 4 divided by 2. This is just pi over 4. I'll find the midpoint of these two. 3 pi over 4 plus 7 pi over 4 divided by 2 is just 5 pi over 4. Okay, so now that I've got one entire cycle down, I know that I want to draw this not from this point here, but from 0 till 2 pi. So I'm going to start over here, basically pretending like I came through, but I'm just going to start at 0. I'm going to go all the way till 7 pi over 4 because I know 7 pi over 4 is slightly less than 2 pi. That's my max right there. So now I want to see how much further do I go over here. So I'm going to take my next point here and add 2 pi to give me the next axis point here. So if I do pi over 4 plus 2 pi, I'll get 9 pi over 4. But 9 pi over 4 is slightly larger than 2 pi. So I know I definitely don't want to hit this point. basically I just want to go a bit till I reach 2 pi. Now these two will be at the same exact height, and that's one full cycle, basically with a period of 2 pi. So that's how I would draw this equation in between 0 and 2 pi.